Welcome, everybody. Today is August 15th, and we are at our content creators Toastmasters meeting. It is 5:46, and we are going to begin this meeting. I'm Jenna Picata. I am the president of this club, and even though we have a really small meeting today, we are going to do our best to fill the roles. And I have a speech prepared for all of you today. So you'll have an opportunity to hear some speeches. And actually, Alex is stepping up to give a speech. So this is actually really incredible. So you're going to hear some speeches today. You'll hear some speech evaluations today. And then on the fly, we'll just throw in some table topics. If anybody has any great questions when that time comes up, or else we can do some table topics maybe around content that we are creating or want to create. And with that, well, I am also your Toastmaster for today. So I would love to start by introducing the word of the day. The word of the day today is essence. It's a noun, and it means the intrinsic nature or indispensable quality of something that determines its character. It's the set of properties that make something what it is fundamentally, and without which it would lose its identity. And I think essence is a perfect word for content creation because we're trying to really get at the essence of who we are. That's part of our identity. The example here is her essence is one of kindness and generosity, making her beloved by everyone who knows her. So let's all try and use the word essence throughout this meeting. We've never really talked about a number. In my other club, we try and use it 5 times and then we retire it at the end. But let's all try to use it at least once today. So the next thing on our agenda is any content creation celebrations. We branded this club as content creators. You might be an aspiring content creator, so maybe you didn't publish something, but maybe you had a thought towards wanting to put something out there. And I'll just give you an example because I haven't really published anything, but I think we do a lot of content creation for work and for other things. And so I know I've mentioned the hero's journey in the past, but I'm really connecting this idea of the hero's journey and how it applies to my life. And I'll just tell you that I've had this thought that now I'm piecing all of these things together. For the first time in my life, I'm feeling like I actually want to write a book. So for me, it being in this meeting every week, it really inspires me because I get to see all different kinds of content creators and what they're doing and how they're turning those passions into meaningful words that are getting put out there. So thank you all for inspiring me. And one day I, I I might turn some of these ideas into a book. So is there anybody else who did anything in the past week or in the past month, if we haven't seen you, that you would like us to celebrate?
Like I said, what I've done in the past week, since I've been coming here, I've been inspired and motivated to go on TikTok and give some positive vibes in my healing journey. And I haven't spoke too much in details about my healing journey, but I was giving a lot of content in dancing and doing my head like this and putting certain music on the TikTok, and people are actually enjoying it. My my perspective about how I'm doing it is really broaden my horizon. In a sense, I already work in a place where I give positive vibe, I give encouraging words. We talk about life on life. We talk about um, coping skills. We talk about things of checking in with each other, human connection, and things of that nature. So I wanted to take it a little further. And last week, like I said, I got at least 745 views of that video of me going to class and shaking my head and smiling and doing my little piecework. And I was like, okay, all right. So I didn't even I did it and I went off and I was like, and my bestie called me. She said, you know, you got 700 some views. I said, what?
That's really
So
cool.
so
I
the
love
essence of this group, right? The identity of this group, this club, inspired me to actually get out of my shell and really get into the probability of reaching limitless audience. I'm not looking for a certain type of audience. I'm just open to any audience. And I really believe that deals with healing. So that's what I got.
I love that. Thank you for sharing. It just speaks to the power of authenticity, right? People just want people who are out there who are going to be real and that they can really connect with on that human level. And that's what you just did. And really it's not about the number of views. It's about making that connection with other people. And that's what's most important. So thank you. I love it. Any other celebrations? Not recently? That's okay. Keep working towards whatever goals that you have. We are just grateful that you are here with us today. And now I'm going to just, because we did start a little bit late, I'm going to just go into meeting functionaries. We're going to introduce the roles. We'll talk a little bit about them. And ARP, when we get to yours, word of the day, on the agenda, it says word of the day grammarian. So for that role right there, if you want to also pick out any phrases that you just really like. Sometimes I just write down quotes because people say some really deep things or things that I want to remember, and you can highlight any of those that you want. Or if because we're trying to improve our communication skills, if we misuse the English language, like call it out. At the end, we'll do a report. So you can call it out and let us know because that's how we learn and we grow, right? In this space, we're not afraid to make mistakes. And we want that feedback. We want that feedback because until we're aware of it, we don't know that we're making mistakes. So I just want to also say that. So Monique, can you let our group know what you're going to do as a general evaluator for this meeting?
Sure. So I am the general evaluator, and my job is to take notes of on all aspects as the meeting unfolds. Is is it running well or on time? Evaluate each participants on the agenda. Look for good examples of presentation, organization, delivery, enthusiasm, observation, and performance of duties. And that is me as a general evaluator.
Thank you.
Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster Gina.
Thanks, Monique. And I will introduce table topics. So we will see if we're doing 2 speeches and 2 evaluations. We'll see if we do have some time for table topics. What table topics is we just come up with some questions and we pose it to the group. And it's just an opportunity to speak, to do some impromptu speaking. And the way that it gets timed is you have 1 to 2 minutes to talk. And the timer, Monique will tell you a little bit more about the timing of that. So when we get there, I'll tell you more about the topic we'll address. And with that, I will turn it over to the timer. So Monique, can you tell us a little bit about what the timer role is?
And I am also the timer. The timer refers to the speech timing guide above. I am responsible for showing the speaker green, which is this, when they reach the minimum time required, yellow, which is my pencil, when they reach the midpoint of the time requirement, and red is when they reach the maximum time of requirement. Qualifying speeches are given a grace period of plus or minus 30 seconds. In a viral setting, I can use color timer background, but we already got it right here. So that's what I got. Thanks for letting me share.
Yes.
Back to you, Gina.
You got it. And for my speech, we'll do 5 to 7 minutes. Alex, do you want to do 5 to 7 minutes? What timing do you want for your speech?
Yes, please, 5 to 7 minutes.
5 to 7 minutes. Okay, so 5 to 7, green at 5, yellow at 6, red at 7. You are our word of the day grammarian. So if you want to, there's on the back of the agenda, it kind of tells you what each role is, but you could just say, if you want to just say it back as you understand it, we can help make sure that you know what you're doing as this in this role, since you just kind of stepped up into it.
I'm really lost on that. I don't understand.
Okay. Oh yeah. So anytime that we say the word essence,
Right. I count how many
count
times.
that. Yep.
Yeah.
And then if you catch us saying any phrases that you like, then you can highlight it at the end of the meeting. So at the end of the meeting, I'll call everybody up to talk about their role, and they give a report about what they hear. So at the end of the meeting, you'll just say, today I heard us use the word essence 10 times. And then we'll just celebrate it. And then
Okay.
you can say, as the grammarian, so these are some phrases that I really liked. Or you can just say, I didn't hear any misuse of the English language. Good job, everybody. Something like that.
Okay.
You got it?
I hope so. This is
Okay.
all new to me.
Just try your best. It's okay. We're in a safe space here. And Alex, you know what? You did a good job as counter. Do you want to count filler words today?
Yeah, sure. But I will need
I'll do it for your
information.
speech.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. And with that, we don't really have to have all of the roles. We just wanted to give you a little taste of what it is like to have a meeting with roles. And now we're going to get into our prepared speeches. I am going to be giving our first speech. I will tell you a little bit about it just so that you know about the Toastmasters curriculum that there is. So the Toastmasters curriculum is called Pathways. And when you do become a Toastmasters member, you have access to the curriculum, and there's 5 levels in each pathway. And I am on innovative planning. That's the pathway that I chose. And I've already completed my level 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I'm actually on the very last pathway, innovative planning, level 5. And this is high performance leadership speech. And in this speech, it was my job to take a project that I'm working on and introduce that project to you. And that project is this Content Creators Club. So this title of this speech is called Turning Ideas into Reality, Content Creators Toastmasters Origin Story. All right, now I'm gonna take off that Toastmaster hat and I will start my speech. When I first joined Toastmasters back in 2019, I never imagined where I'd be today. In about 5 years, I've grown immensely, not just in communication skills, but as a leader. Initially hesitant to take on a leadership role, I started off as secretary and soon took on roles like VP PR, VP of Education, President, Area Director, and now I'm a co-founding member of this Content Creators Toastmasters Club. Through successes and failures, I've learned that the essence of who I am is rooted in the deep passion of creativity that drives me, fueling my commitment to Toastmasters, especially this club. What I've come to discover about Toastmasters is that it's not just about delivering speeches, it's about finding your voice, embracing diverse perspectives, and helping others grow alongside you. Being an area director was a challenge, but it helped create a new path for myself, and that's how this seed was planted. This is the origin story of Content Creators Toastmasters, a story that is just at the beginning, and you're here, so you are an important part of this story as it's being written. If you knew me before Toastmasters, never in a million years would you have picked me out in a crowd as a leader. I was the quietest person, and I walked around with my shoulders slumped as if I was trying to make myself smaller. The thought of me ever starting a club has always been unfathomable, but sometimes the universe works in mysterious ways. And when the time is right and you get that call to adventure, you have to answer it and just go for it. Earlier this year, when my division director, Venue, asked me what club I wanted to start, all I really wanted to do was say nothing, because having no idea meant no extra work for me. But as I was listening to other area directors pitching their ideas, something sparked in my brain, and I remembered how back in 2021, I really wanted to start a podcast based on my contest-winning speech, First Time Connection. I started thinking, what if I could start a Toastmasters club where it would be a community of people who wanted to start podcasts just like me. We could practice delivering our content while getting feedback through evaluation speeches. Table topics could include things like conducting a guest interview or sharing takeaways from podcasts that we've listened to recently. Every once in a while, we could bring in guest speakers or seasoned podcasters to learn from. Even though I wanted to stay quiet in that new club discussion, my brain pushed that thought away and my mouth blurted out, what about an aspiring podcasters Toastmasters Club? Venno asked me to share more, and before I knew it, I had another area director, Jim, who's now the coach of this club, on board and willing to help me put the vision together. As I began pitching this idea to others, my brilliant friend and colleague Nupur had a suggestion. She said, does it have to just be for podcasters? What if I wanted to start a blog or write a book or be on social media? What an interesting thought. I let that idea stew in my head for a couple of days, and on a Saturday morning at 5 a.m., I woke up and all I could think about was the words Content Creators Toastmasters in my brain. Now, when I wake up with thoughts in my head, I know I need to act right away or they'll be lost forever. Even though I was half awake, I got myself out of bed. I went over to my computer and I rebranded the Aspiring Podcasters flyer to now read Content Creators. I even turned that flyer into a website, and by 6:30 in the morning, I had sent it off to Venue and Jim. And at first they had hesitations, but they decided to trust me and we moved forward with it. We planned a demo meeting, had a lineup of guests who were content creators, and instead of waiting until we had the 7 or 20 paid members, new Toastmaster members, even though we were small, we were able to rebrand a sunsetting Toastmasters Club. Now we have 8 members. So even though we are small at the moment, we have an incredible coach in Jim Vitrano. His willingness to always meet with me and mentor me is invaluable and greatly appreciated. But where the real magic has happened was with the incredible first followers. Lereva, Dalal, and Monique have believed in this vision from the very beginning. Lereva comes with a positive, uplifting spirit and a depth of Toastmaster knowledge. She's taking risks, creating videos for our club and finding guest speakers, and really putting us out there in social media. Dalal is always so thoughtful and reflective and a model for healing and the power of truth and vulnerability, just like Monique. But Monique, she brings the party and the energy, and I love it. Sometimes we get into heavy discussions, but she always reminds us to smile, sing, dance, and celebrate, and never forget the importance of joy. What I've learned from this group and from all of you guests is that we all have valuable stories that the world deserves and needs to hear. Every time we hear table topics, I learn something new from each and every person who blesses us with their story. In the Hawaiian culture, there is a word, mo'olelo, which means storytelling. It's a way to connect to the past, preserve history, and pass on important lessons. In Hawaiian and many other indigenous cultures, anytime someone shares their story with you, you've just received a blessing. Even if you're not currently a person putting content into the world, technically you are because you agree to show up and be recorded in this meeting. So keep coming back, keep speaking your truth. We want this to be a brave space where you can make mistakes, hone your ideas, and benefit from learning and growing together. When you feel ready to fully jump into the world of Toastmasters, we're here to embrace you with open arms. My goal is to grow this club to 15 members by the end of this Toastmaster year. And with your help, I know we can get there. If you believe in any part of this vision, please keep coming back, share, and invite people who you think may benefit. Together, we can use our voices to make a real impact in this world. Well, thank you. And what I should build into the agenda is time to give feedback. So if you want to send a message in the chat, you can just do a direct message to me, or you can put it into the whole chat if you want. So I'll give you maybe like 30 seconds to do that. And then we will get ready for our next speech. Okay, we're gonna get ready for our next speech. And thank you, Alex. I should have asked you maybe for a little bit of an introduction, but you are in another Toastmasters club, right? Correct?
Yep, just expired.
Oh, just
So not
expired. Well, you are familiar with Toastmaster, so all right. Well, our next speaker is Alex. This is pretty incredible that you are stepping up to be a speaker. So do you have a title for your speech?
Yeah, the title is Just Show Up, and I actually want to ask for permission to screen share.
Oh, yes. Let's
Awesome.
see. Oops. So I will give you permission, although the Zoom tools look so different now. Oh, host tools. Okay. You should be able to screen share.
Thank you.
All right. Without further ado, let's welcome Alex with her speech, Just Show Up.
Have you ever thought that you cannot speak up? Have you ever felt you are unable to talk? Like what you're about to say doesn't matter. You don't matter. You're not good enough. That's a phrase that I've heard so many times in my life. I remember when I first got here from the Philippines, my dad asked me, "Oh, now you're in the US. What do you want to do now?" I thought it would be nice to get paid watching TV. So I told him, "I'd like to be a surveillance officer." "Surveillance officer? You'll never make it. You don't have experience. You've never been in a casino. You won't get that job." I thought to get a job, you need experience. To get experience, you need a job. What a conundrum. Oh, and I got the job. When I went to the job, I am the very first woman that is armed out of all the company. And during our qualification, which is the practical test every 6 months, I scored the first. You know what my coworker told me? "You know how women are? They're so good in focusing. That's why you got first." I thought, wow. Ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you the essence of a magical being. I grace you my presence, the mystical phenomena of a woman's focus. No, no, no. It doesn't matter. For all the 5 consecutive days, I spent more than 1,000 bullets practicing, earning my beautiful calluses. No, my hard work is not about my hard work. It's not good enough. It's just a given because I'm a woman. I'm a magical being. But you know who is the worst person to tell you you're not good enough? Your worst enemy? Yes, Gina, yourself. The worst person to tell you you're not good enough is yourself. When you tell yourself you're not good enough, it's game over. I have a solution for the "you're not good enough" mentality. My solution? Just show up. In psychology, there is a term called exposure effect. The more you expose yourself to an environment, the more you get used to it. Then it becomes second nature to you. You become an expert. Even if you think you're not good enough, it's okay. Just show up. When I first went to Toastmasters, it took me 1 year of being a guest before I signed up for a membership. It took me 6 months as a member before I even signed up for a role. That was a timer, and I was stuttering so bad. But here I am now, speaking to you right now, and I have spoken to different organizations: Las Vegas Information System Security Association, Payback, Clark County School District, Las Vegas PBS, and more. And I wouldn't have spoken up like this in front of you if I didn't show up. During my first tech job, an executive told me the manager from another department moved on. Would I like to take on the role? Do you know what I asked him? Are you sure? Remember where that mentality came from earlier from my story? My father saying you're not good enough. And it clicked on my mind the moment I said it to an executive. I was thinking, why would I say that to an executive? He's way up there. He knows what he's doing. Why would he offer it to me if he doesn't think I can do it? I took it. Within the first 2 weeks, I was Google searching every single problem I have encountered. And I made it. Before I move on, I introduced a new provisioning system that resolved a recurring problem and was being implemented to at least 5 companies before I move on. Let me tell you another funny story. I was scrolling earlier on Facebook feed. I saw something about I think he's called Hamish something, an Australian comedian who applied for a bodybuilding contest. He's not even ripped. And he won by default just by showing up. It's so funny because he just show up and he just did it for a prank. He's the only person who qualified on that weight level, and the judges had no excuse and they have to make him as a winner. It's so funny, right? Just show up. Henry Ford once said, whether you think you can or you cannot, you are right. I say, whether you think you can or you cannot, just show up. Let me give you a challenge for everyone. For the next 2 weeks, list 5 ways that you plan to show up despite challenges, despite you're not feeling yourself, you're thinking you're not good enough. Just show up. I'd like you to accept yourself, to love yourself, and to share your essence to the world. Show up. Back to you.
Thank you, Alex. That was an incredible speech. I will give some time. I guess technically it's usually a minute, so let's just give a minute. If anybody wants to give Alex some feedback, and I'll finish writing my notes so that I can give a speech evaluation. So go ahead and put anything in the chat if you would like. All right. That was a minute. We do have a couple of speech evaluations, but before we get to that, we can do table topics. I was just trying to pull up something. Actually, you know what? Instead of doing video questions, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just pull up an image on the screen, and I want you just to think about you and it could be tied to your content creation journey. And Alex, I just want to say that you might not think of yourself as a content creator, but I really think that everybody in Toastmasters, they are content creators, really, because you're writing speeches. You're taking those ideas and you're putting those thoughts together. And for you to put that together in a coherent speech that was beautiful like that, that is content creation right there. So I am going to share my screen and then I'll open it up to whoever wants to. So this is kind of an example. On my Google Chrome, I have it so that every new tab I open up opens up to a new image from Unsplash. So I'm just going to open a tab and then I want you to look at that picture and then you can talk for 1 to 2 minutes about how that image relates to your content creation journey. All right, so I have this image right here. Is there anybody who wants to take this image and turn it into a speech? And if it's too hard to relate it to content creation journey, just whatever comes up when you see the image. Or if you want to take this first one, I'll let you choose. Monique, you got one? Okay, I'll be your timer here.
When I look at this picture of this eagle soaring in the sky, I see me soaring above anything that actually wants to lie. Pay attention to its wing and how it soars. That is life. It doesn't lie. For me, that is me. Intimacy. You see me, I see you. Let's get a little deeper. It's showing that no matter what, soar above all. No one, no place, no thing can take it all. I have the opportunity to be present with me because that's what I see, me as the eagle soaring above all the lies. Thank you for letting me share.
Yay! That was incredible. Good job. All right, I'll put another couple of pictures out and then you can choose. You could choose that one. Here's an image. Or here, oh, this flower. All right, we have a lot of nature. Let's see. Ooh, there we go. Here, this one's different. So here's a few to choose from. Do those evoke any feelings, emotions, thoughts? ARP, do you want to try? You can pass. It's just
I don't know. I'm so slow on always like just looking at something. It takes me like a whole day literally to say anything because I can look at it now and I'll be like tomorrow, I'm like, oh, I should have said it this way or I should have said that. So
okay. Well,
like right there here, what is this? Is this a mountain? Is it water?
it's
I
a
don't
mount. It looks like a mountain. It could be whatever you want, actually. But yeah, it does look like a mountain. It has snow on it. Rocky terrain, freezing cold temperatures.
because I wasn't sure if it's a mountain or if it's water because it looks blue.
Oh yeah, it does look blue. I don't know where it is. It says it's in South Georgia and the South Sandwich Islands.
I have no idea where that is, but okay, then maybe it is water.
Oh yeah, there's this one right here. There is water right here. Yes, good eye. I didn't even see that. You want to
So,
speak to it?
okay, I'll speak to it, but I don't know if I'm going to make it long enough.
That's okay.
So looking at this, it kind of reminds me of life. It's deep, but yet it's not deep. And the rockiness is basically the struggles we go through. And the water that's being hit are the struggles. And as we try to get through it and survive, it's part of life, it's part of nature to walk this path in order to be part of the real life. That's what I see. I just see struggles.
Hey, great job. I mean, you went deep there. It's not always easy to take an image and then try and get to this really deep message. So congratulations on that. All right, Alex, are you ready? Here, let's see what other images.
I can take the yellow flower.
Which one? The yellow flowers? Okay.
Yeah. Flowers with sunlight going through all the beauty of nature, waking them up, making them bloom. Makes me think, what makes you wake up? What inspires you? What is your core, your essence, and how do you know and follow your true North Star? Where, well, essentially, sun is a star too. So it's similar to that. I think that the moment we discover our true North Star, that is when our own self bloom. And that is when we can share the beauty of life. Our own beauty blooms and we share that happiness. We share that great feeling whenever we smell the fragrance, the essence of the flowers, and it makes us happy looking at the flowers blooming. And the yellow is a color of happiness. I think this photo is something that reminds us to take a look, contemplate. Are we following our true North Star, our sun? Are we able to share the joy of our life while we follow our North Star? This picture talks about sharing the happiness of life and enjoying each other's essence. Just like how Jenna celebrated each other's essence during her speech earlier. Remember when she mentioned about different team members? That is like that flower sharing and celebrating essence of the other flowers and enjoying the beautiful life and following your own true essence, your core, your North Star. Thank you, and back to you.
Yay, great job. Great job, everybody. And you know, with table topics, it comes with time. The reason why I decided to join Toastmasters in the first place was impromptu speaking was really hard for me. and you just have to just show up, right? Just as Alex said, just show up. It's okay. If you make a mistake, we're not, no judgment here because we all know what that journey is like, right? So just start from somewhere. And even if you didn't hit 1 minute, that's okay. Just know that next time, if you want to take longer, you can. We love for you to take up space in this club, right? You have 2 minutes, might as well take the 2 minutes if you can and you want to. So thank you. Thank you for all participating in that. And with that, I will pass it over to Monique, who is our general evaluator, and she will introduce the speech evaluators and then the functionary reports. So,
Okay. So for the overall meeting, because of the time, you know, with all the people that showed up, we had a smaller group. And Gina, with you off the bat coming up with a speech just like that with no problem, that right there is amazing to me. Alex, with you coming up saying, I want to take this speech on, that right there is the essence of this group. Really, it is. Um, Even though we don't have an R Connor, but I'm glad that we able to say R. Because I'm serious. I say all the time. I didn't even understand why do I say all the time? It's because I panic a lot. So I'm learning how to take a deep breath, you know, show up in that moment, relax, think about what I'm going to say. And what me saying what I'm saying now is what we get to do here in this place is to learn. So when we do our own content creation without being in this meeting, the feedback that we get here will help us stay on a steady path of our content creator. Like I said, again. So let's see what else. So I'm your speech evaluator, Gina, and I sent you the email with my evaluation, but I'm going to also share something that I just told myself is the same thing. I noticed that when I put up the timer, you speed up your speech, right? I noticed that, like, it was like, oh, especially when I put up the red one. So I put in your evaluation is the same thing I'm telling myself. Slow down, take a breath. We have time, even though it's 7 minutes, but you also said that we also have time to make mistakes, you know, and the fact that we're here is just 5 of us and everybody is busy. We're taking on so many different roles. You are excellent. You are excellent at getting right back into the mode. So, but I sent you the rest of the evaluation. That's all I want to say here openly to everyone. And that's my speech, my evaluation for your speech. And now what we do is hold on, let me go back to the agenda. The next person is.
Sorry, I didn't put myself on the agenda for speech evaluator, but yes, I will give a speech evaluation.
Okay.
And can you time me for 2 to 3 minutes? Because speech evaluation is my hardest speech, and getting within that time is what I need
Okay.
personally.
2 to 3 minutes.
Yes. All right. Alex, your speech just to show up resonated with me so deeply, and it really spoke to the power of Toastmasters. You spoke to the power of Toastmasters, and what I really connected with was that phrase that you put it in the beginning, you are not good enough. So many of us have that feeling of imposter syndrome, that we're not good enough. And I love how you get to the root, to that essence of that problem, and you take us back in time to your relationship with your dad. You actually did something very masterful that not a lot of people do, and that in speaking is called like telegraphing. And the way that you positioned yourself in the camera on one side, and then you spoke in one voice to show that you were speaking, and then positioning yourself on the other side of the camera and speaking in your a voice to show that your dad was speaking. That was a really great public speaking technique that a lot of times we really don't get to see over Zoom, but it's really great that you were able to do it within your speech. You had a lot of really great phrases in your speech. you had the phrase, the mystical phenomena of a woman's focus. I love that. I love that you use that, and that is like a superpower that you had over the men that you worked with at your job. And when you said, and you use the visuals in your slide presentation to really emphasize some of your most important points. The who is your worst enemy? In my head, I knew that one. I'm like, oh, she's talking about yourself, because that is me all the time. And so your speech was just full of really great words of wisdom that we all had an opportunity to think of. You even gave us some really great examples, like how the bodybuilder, he just won by showing up. And you added humor into your speech in that way. You just did a great job of always keeping that line of just show up in many different ways, where it came from, an example. You took a quote from Henry Ford and you even changed it to say, whether you think you can or cannot, just show up. And that really hit home. So thank you for the call to action and that takeaway. I know that you, in my speech evaluation to me, you said that call to action, that gives us something to work on for the week. So we will continue to just show up and do this, because the more we show up, the better we're going to get, the more confident we're going to feel. And that's what this is all about. So thank you for that. I couldn't really think of, I want to give you critical feedback, but if I do think of anything, I will let you know. So thank you, Alex.
Thank you.
All right. So that, oh yeah, back to you, General Evaluator. Sorry.
Awesome sauce. I'm back. So the next person called to function is
Let's see.
tabletop. Okay, we do the timer, right?
Yes, timer. You can tell us how we did.
Timer. Okay. Your time, Gina, was 7 minutes and 38 seconds. That's it.
Okay.
Awesome. Awesome.
I would have been
Just 30
disqualified, but that's
30
okay.
seconds over. I wasn't supposed to say that?
No, that's good. No, that's good.
Okay.
I need to know that.
Okay. Okay. Alex, I did not time you. I was supposed to timer.
Yeah, shoot, you were, but you know what? I didn't write it. Hers, you were close to 2 minutes. I think it was somewhere between 1:30 and 2 minutes. So
Okay.
you're right
And
within
you
the
guys,
time.
I'm gonna tell you, I did not time our
Yeah, yours was about like 53 seconds. And
okay.
then ARP's, I forgot to press start right away. I want to say it was between 30 and 45 seconds. So you're close, you're getting there. And actually you are allowed to go under the time. So congratulations.
Yes.
It's all about just showing up, and you did it. So thank you.
And now we have our Connor Alex.
Yay.
Oh no, word of the day. Sorry,
And-
I apologize.
Oh, yeah.
Art, come on in. I'm all over the place.
It looks like it was, I feel like I missed maybe one or two, but it looks like 15 times the word essence,
Yay.
now 16, has been used. And I think Alex's essence is just show up. That's your essence. Just show up.
Yes.
So that's really great. I have a sentence for essence. My essence is to keep growing even when my branches are cut off. So I learned that recently because I was looking at my tree out my window and I'm like, I'm like, tree, no matter how many times your branches are cut off, you grow some other spots. So if you can do it, so can I. So that's my essence, to keep growing, even when my branches are cut off. And that's why I love the word now, the 3 words now, just show up. That's so perfect.
Yay.
Thank you so much, Art, for that. Oh, I love that. Just show up. Keep growing in your essence. That's amazing. Thank you so much. Now we have Alex of the Art Counter.
Sorry to disappoint you, Monique. We do have an ad counter. And I was
Oh,
told
you're not the Art Counter?
yes. So Gina, you have well, all right. Repeating rebrand. So you did corrected yourself 1720, but I don't want to count that because I feel like that adds to authenticity. Like you're counting the time, and it adds to the charm of your speech. I know some people like to over practice, and yours sounds so authentic because of the 720 mistake. So I kind of like want to shout out that. And then Monique, you have filler, and we two three and y, and then arm you have it's. That's it, and back to you.
Yay.
Hey, we're doing
job.
better, you know? We're doing good.
Yeah,
We're doing
that was
good.
incredible for their first time table topic speech.
Awesome. And then what else we have? That's it,
That's it.
right? Back to you, Gina.
Yay! Well, thank you all for just showing up today. This has been an incredible pivot to a small meeting, but the reason why I continue to show up is because it really is because of all of you. Like it helps, this helps me grow. It helps me remind myself that there are these thoughts in my head and these messages that I'm trying to work on it for my own healing, and to see that we're all doing this work and that we can share in it together and show that it is a journey. It keeps me wanting to come back every single week and make this a priority. So thank you all. We have your email addresses. You'll hear from us. Don't feel pressure to become a member, but you can show up when you have time and when you feel like you want to connect with us. You're always, always, always welcome back. And a special thanks to ARP for coming for the very first time, taking on not one, but 2 roles and a table topics. So that is pretty incredible. Thank you for being here. And if anybody is going to be around next week and you want to take a role, you can let us know. Or how about Monique will I'll make a copy of this agenda and then make it or a blank copy, and then we can send it out to people who've showed up before, and we'll just invite them sign up for a role.
Okay. Awesome.
And with that, it's 6:44. We got ourselves back on time, and I don't want to take up too much of your time, so I'm going to officially close this meeting. Have a great rest of your week and a wonderful weekend. I hope to see you all next week.
Thank you,
Awesome.
everyone.
Thank
Nice meeting everyone.
Yes,
Sure,
nice meeting
thanks.
you.
Bye.
See you
Bye.
later, Jim.
Bye.